think we're back. See if that worked. Check, check. All right. So I'm sick again. This is the perils of being a recluse, I guess. Went out to Atlantic City. I guess I brought something home with me. But I just wanted to come on to YouTube and say a few words because this is it's pretty extraordinary what we're doing. But just to backtrack a second, yesterday the market went down, right? And I didn't think it was going to stay down because, you know, but then UVXY was doing something extraordinary. It was trending and finding support and breaking new highs. And when you see a faux show bro on the UVXY, you know something's wrong. And that wrong is the market actually could go down. And it did. So fast forward to this morning, we saw some weakness. UVXY was elevated, but not above yesterday's highs. So I was still cautiously optimistic that we were going to go down because I love when the market goes down because I feel like I put my skills to good use. I don't care whether it goes up or down. It's the same trade to me. But what I have learned from doing this my whole life, especially getting my ass kicked for 3 years, never blew up an account on a long trade, only blown up going short. And within 10 or 15 minutes, the market started telling us that it doesn't want to go down by the little faux show bro, blue line to orange line. And then once again, blue line, orange line, phenomenal trade. Got paid. And then it comes back to VWAP, little faux show bro, but then the rollover here. And there's where I would normally get short as a demented psychopathic person that thinks the market could actually go down. But now, because I've learned that the market never goes down anymore, I gotta just glance over at my friend. Hi, UVXY. So UVXY at the time was hitting the VWAP and rolling over. So I said, oh, that's peculiar. If this market was actually going to go down, UVXY would be going up. So then right there, I was like, Kenny, shut up. We're never going down. You're the last delusional fucktard on earth that thinks we could actually go down. Stick with the plan. And what is that plan, my friend? Say it out loud because it feels good. Come on. You could say it. The market never goes down. So I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Again, this is why I tell you that any extended period of time, you will lose. If you were betting against this market yesterday, thinking you were going to follow through today, you've lost. And any shorter with any type of discipline, you've covered and you've gone long because it doesn't take too much to realize that you're wrong about the trade. Everybody gets it wrong. See, what makes me a better trader now is that I know I'm going to be wrong, so I wait because I know the market never goes down. I get it. Yesterday it did. We got a reconfirmation of a tremendous short. 607 puts hit twice. Short in the Qs worked yesterday. Came in today going, hey, we're breaking yesterday's lows. This could get ugly. And then UVXY starts to tank. And you realize, oh, right, the market never goes down. So now we got that out of the way. Let's talk about this trade that has now worked 1,191 times in a row. It's your pal Netflix. I think we're all familiar with Netflix, right? Nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying it. Rejected at the VWAP. Nobody's buying it. Rejected at the VWAP. Nobody's buying it. Rejected at the VWAP. This thing's at lows. And then suddenly it breaks VWAP. Buy it. Sorry to make it sound so easy, but if you're not breaking VWAP the entire pre-market on an earnings report, and then it breaks VWAP, buy it. Because that's algorithmic institutional buyers telling you the jig is up. Hang on. Baba Booey. So again, before we even go into this conversation about this trade that works every freaking time it shows up, right? Ooh, I just bought a standing Liberty quarter. You guys like coins? Shit, now I forgot what I was going to say. My brain's not all together right now. It's been a long night. Couldn't really breathe. Waking up. But I did have a really cool dream. You guys watching this show where he goes back in time to try to stop the JFK assassination? I felt like I dreamt that I was hanging out with James Franco back in 1960. It was pretty cool. Fuck, what was I going to say? All right, whatever. So this trade, right, that we have here, this is this earnings reversal trade, or again, this wasn't your classic reversal. This was just blue line to orange line, right? So, again, I look at long-term charts. You know, somebody was implying we did a little symposium a couple of weeks ago, and somebody was saying I live minute to minute. Intraday I do, but I'm always looking at what happened to the stock prior to the earnings report. So if we have already had a sell-off going into the report, usually that means what? Somebody was betting against Netflix already. Smart money up here, 115, 120. So now that the earnings are out, you have to look at as counter trend. You want to see if those shorters are covering and the buy on dippers show up. So what's the indication that that's happening? VWAP break. And then if you just miss that first trade, you see how it comes back and holds the VWAP? That's a little faux show bro. And then it holds it on top. It gives you another chance to buy it. And then right at the open, we were already long on Netflix going into the open, and it never broke VWAP. So we were compelled, or the way I look at it is you've given permission to hold. And we hold, and we sell, we raise our stop, and we hold, we raise our stop. Now, again, I wish that was real, but it never really got there, but it did get to about 85.30. And then when it rolled over through 85, I sold. And then when it breaks back below prices from where I sold on the way up, I sell the rest. And now I'm no longer in Netflix long. But the trade, buying a gap down stock that breaks VWAP and looking for it to retrace the prior day VWAP continues to be phenomenal. So let's talk about Halliburton. You guys like yourself some Halliburton, don't you? One of my favorite stocks. Speaking of that, is anybody still in Alcoa? Thursday night, they're reporting earnings. I think it's going to be a blowout. I'm debating whether or not to own some. I still got 200 shares. But we'll get to that point in a second. Holding into a report, usually why do it? If you remember Rambus, which we're going to get to in a second, we held the Rambus into the earnings report. The stock tanked, and we were able to buy the stock 20 points cheaper that day. But if you held it from the overnight, all you were doing is breaking even when the stock rallied. Kind of why I don't do much of owning stocks into earnings reports, or what's worse, buying options into an earnings report is legitimately the worst trade you could do. You're overpaying for the option and you're guessing. Or you come in and you see Halliburton, reports earnings, making its move, everybody's loving it, and then suddenly it breaks VWAP. That's the finger of God right there. It breaks the VWAP, and look where it goes, to the prior day VWAP. And there's the faux show. Fake them out, shake them out, back above that level, back above VWAP. So faux show, and when the prior day VWAP is the shakeout area, speaking of that, UALs are short now. Hello. 1 second. We might want to do this live. Oh, this, my friend, every rally has been sold into. And now you've got the finger of God, and you broke back below the 1 and the multi, and now you're breaking new lows. Normally, again, in a market that goes down once in a while, this would be an easy short. I'm not short, but if I'm going to do this, now I have to wait to see if it rallies first. If it can't get back over the orange line, then at least risk reward's back in your favor. No need to chase it. It's already been a nice day. But let's talk about Halliburton again, right? So Halliburton, the faux show bro at prior day VWAP, is the greatest setup, right? And then you've got yourself a stock that reported earnings that's breaking back over VWAP. Buy it, especially when you get a fake out, shake out to prior day VWAP underneath, back above the blue. So in this case, 32.90 was your entry. You're looking at the fake out, which is 32.50, and the low of the day, which is the 32. That's your risk. And then you get rewarded. And if you didn't trade that first move, you had a chance to buy it again off the VWAP for the second. And over here, we're thinking $34 at least, maybe even $35. But then it rolls over. You know what we do? Sell the rest. And then you got a little faux show bro action here. And again, you could be going back and forth on Halliburton, just chopping around. But my friends, if you're out there watching this video, right? I've been doing videos on YouTube since the day YouTube launched, right? Remember my son singing Three Little Birds when he was 2 years old, and that was my first video. And then I started talking about all my dumb trades, and people thought it was funny. Sadly, it was all real. I was trading terribly because I was basically a stay-at-home dad trying to still trade with my kids on my lap. Anyway, but fast forward all these years later, still doing this. And this trade, I've never seen anything that works this well. So if you're out there struggling, if you're not making money as a trader, start with this trade. Netflix. The UAL earlier was, again, it was a long trade first. Faux show bro, VWAP break, got paid. Faux show bro to prior day VWAP, another long idea. But now, wait. The stock just did exactly what I thought it would do. So it just squoze and didn't break back above it. So now, as a matter of fact, you could short it with limited risk, and you're only risking 60 cents at this point because you got prior day VWAP and the breakdown price. So if you're going to put a little short on, generally 300 shares, one tight stop at 52, 200 shares at 86. If you're wrong, you're losing $100. If you're right and this thing rolls over and goes negative, that's when you start taking a look at multiple time frame VWAP. Nothing really helping us here. These are just grabbing more days. And let's go see 10 days worth of VWAP. So nothing there that's giving us a target on the downside. So let's go back to that 1 minute. And like I said, if you got limited risk and you just put the short on, we're already making money. Here we go. And this is where you get on the bid. So if you shorted UAL just now, that should be you on the bid at 109.54. You're bidding it, right? You want to capture the spread on the way down. So if somebody hits your bid, you capture that 30 cents, and you also know you got momentum to the downside. So just like a long trade, just selling it on the way up. As a shorter, especially in a market that never goes down, you better be covering on the way down. So we are about to start doing the schmooze again, and we're probably going to be selling it as a standalone product. But chances are, or not chances are, I don't want to charge for it. I want to use the barter system. Okay? Hear me out here. I'm on StockTwits and I'm on Twitter. A lot of you guys have been in and out of my chat rooms, my YouTube friends, my TikTok friends, the Hit the Bidders, the Raging Bullers, or some other shady company I worked for about 1.5 years. You're out there. If you want access to what we do on Thursday nights, all I ask you is to post some trades. Hey, I was there. Because coming from me, I just sound like Trump. Nobody knows about trading more than I do. But if other people are saying it, it validates it. It's true that I probably know more about this than most people because I've been doing it my whole life. But it's better when it comes from you guys. And more importantly, I like to hear if you guys are doing well. So let me get a shout out from the guys in the back who still own Rambus. I just got a lovely email from our friend who's still in this bad boy from the original entry at $38, where I gave my target of 127. And I think this was the point I was trying to make. We're much more than just day trading, right? I don't personally swing trade too well. I stay away from it. You know, I guess you could say I'm still swinging the QQQ from 03. It's not really a swing trade after 22 years. But I tend to not be the best swing trader because I just overstay my welcome in these dumb trades, and then they always go wrong, like your SRAD or your NABN or your Gemmies trying to pick bottoms off these shitty IPOs. I got myself in trouble on a couple of those trades. But this bad boy we've been sitting with this bad boy, and let me show you why this is my favorite stock, and it's been my favorite stock. I don't talk about it enough. Is the OG Andy Dufresne pattern, the same exact pattern that got me into AMD and my illegitimate brown son. He's made $2.2 million on this trade. I wish I would have stayed in it with him. And you heard that right. My illegitimate brown son. Yes, I have an Indian illegitimate son. What? Nice kid. But he's still in AMD, and he's living his best life. Nice $2 million trade. This trade, and again, when I talk about long-term charts, I'm always looking at long-term charts. Just because I'm a day trader and staying minute to minute intraday, I always know where the stock has been, what it's all about, and where I think it's going. And why did this stock become my favorite stock about 3 years ago? Because it was a forgotten name in my favorite industry, semiconductors. You ain't having AI, you ain't having quantum, you ain't having nothing without semis. It's where I made my bones back in 92, pitching Cirrus Logic and Intel and the original Snail Dick, Flash Memory, SNDK, before they reissued the stock. But this was the hottest stock on the planet for quite some time, and then it just went into dormancy. That's the Andy Dufresne. So think of Andy Dufresne working his way through the muck and the sewage and banging out and running to hang out with his friend at Sewataneo. You are now looking at a 26-year breakout. You guys know I like silver, right? Look familiar? It's the same. You're going to get in the way of a 15, 20-year breakout, or you're going to say, wow, I wish I would have known about this, and you're going to keep buying. See, the shorter in me, I used to look at this and say, oh my God, this thing has just gone from 50 to 120. I got to short it. Right. The people that just said that are the ones that we're going to be taking our money from on this trade all the way to 150, then to 180, and then 250. And I'm going to put a price target of 500 on Rambus, because if you've noticed, when stocks break all-time highs in the market that we're in, they double. By the way, this Halliburton turned out to be a nice rebuy. I didn't get it. But we are in a market that's doing extraordinary things. And until it stops doing those things, you have to keep assuming that those things are going to happen. So this thing just broke all-time highs today. You know how many people are going to try to get in its way? This thing probably tacks on another 20 tomorrow, 50 the next day. You'll be at 250 in a week. I'm exaggerating, but this is the kind of trade I've been bringing. And if you haven't been a part of the room, join us. It's not just day trading. We're great at day trading because we got an edge. We got the 1-minute multi-day VWAP earnings reversals. And then there's just sitting with a group of people that know what they're doing, understand markets better than everybody. And we are, or I'm speaking for myself, I'm a victim. And I won't be victimized again. So everything that I used to think, now I take the other side of that trade. That's why I was still buying silver as it was breaking out, while people were saying, oh, this can't last. Not only can it last, the silver trade, we just started. So, and I've been trying to get this conversation going, and maybe we'll have it here. So you're telling me, right, that a worthless piece of code known as Bitcoin somehow is worth more than silver? Why? You're telling me that some artificial non-currency, I bought a car 2 weeks ago and I said to the guy, hey, could I pay with my Bitcoin? And he said, yeah, sell it and give me the cash. So in theory, Bitcoin is worthless, serves no purpose. And my hope is inevitably the entire industry crashes and goes away. And we think, wow, remember that moment in time? What the hell were we thinking? The blockchain will still be a thing, but there's no need to have worthless pieces of air. So what is it? What is Bitcoin in itself? It's a pyramid scheme and a Ponzi scheme that everybody got involved in. If everybody thinks it's worth $92,000 now, then it is. So who's to say what silver is worth? Somebody say it's overvalued now. To who? To who is it overvalued? To you because you don't own any at 30? Why can't it go to 250, 500, and 1,000? Because of something that you think? Thinking is irrelevant. If Bitcoin can go from 0.003 cent, 0.003 to 120 grand, you're telling me silver's not going to 250 minimum? What do you know? Value and price are subjective, right? I got a mug here with my picture on it, right? Look at me. The guy that loves me, he says, oh shit, I want a mug with your picture on it. 50 bucks. The guy over there says, this fucking dick's got a mug with his picture on it. It's worthless to that dude. It's all relative. But what's not relative is intraday trading around VWAP levels where you actually have an advantage for the first time to trade with limited risk and pretty damn good rewards on a daily basis. And that's my story. And if you guys are coming to Vegas, let me know. We got a pretty damn good crew. Got at least 20, 25 people coming. And we need to all have a conversation. You know, again, we can't all go out to dinner on Monday night, but we got some nice festivities planned. 8:30 Tuesday morning, I'm going to be doing my VWAP ceremony or sermon. I'd like to have you all in the area. We're going to film it, and I'm going to make a little documentary about VWAP. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm bringing my own film guy. I want everybody to film it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're out there watching this video right now, and you're not making money in this market, right? The greatest trading market that I've ever seen these last 2.5, 3 years, let's say 4 years. These last 4 years have been by far the greatest 4 years I've ever seen in the market. Not monetarily for me. I've crushed it in 2000, 2008. The plethora of opportunity to make money as a day trader, that's what I refer to. And then you still got to pick your spots. And that's why if you just pick those spots and you stick with the earnings reports, your Halliburtons, Johnson & Johnsons, UALs, QQQ, a couple of rare earths in there. By the way, if you guys are fans of USAR, this thing has been pretty good to us almost every day. You guys know about Open. I don't understand the infatuation online about this stock, but it's really fun to trade. And that's my story. So on Thursday nights, we do a thing where we prepare for option trading on Fridays called the Schmooze. Probably going to get Brian Shannon involved this week. Or no, sorry, not this week. But starting, I might, if I'm healthy enough, I'll do it. But like I said, it's going to be a standalone product soon. But I don't care if I sell it. I'd rather you just guys go online, promote us, promote me and Solid and what we do on a daily basis, bring people to us, and then help me take over TikTok, because I want to be known as the #1 trader on that app. And I want to spend 2026, thwarting my enemies, because to me, if you guys see the movie There Will Be Blood, I have a competition in me. I don't want other people to succeed. I just want us and my crew. And that's why I look at this whole thing as it's like a game, right? We're always taking other people's money, but the one thing I really hate about this industry is the fact that the word guru has been tarnished and stepped on and destroyed. And I reckon myself and my buddy over here, Salagello, who truly is a guru, who sacrifices his time and his well-being and his own money to make sure people understand what we're laying down on a daily basis. Before we go any further, let's give it up for Salagello. If you're in the sound of my voice, he is the shining beacon of hope for all of us. Not just a great human being, not just a great guy that has shown otherworldly, I don't have the words, but he breaks this trade down and makes it hard not to understand. And that's where you want to be. You want to be where this is redundant, repeatable, and it's lovely to understand what you're doing. No moving averages. It's no stochastics or Bollinger Bands. And since I didn't short the cues on this rollover, yeah, actually, it's a pretty good trade. Let's take a look at the cues for a second. Oh, hey now. Of course, that UAL didn't work. That thing was over before it even got started. Well, anyway, I'm not really in any trades right now, but because I'm about to go to sleep. And one thing I don't do is trade when I know I'm about to go pass out. That's the somebody I got to be somewhere trade. If you ever leave in the house, don't put a trade on. Oh, let me do one more trade before I go. It'll definitely be a loss. And hear these words. This is what we call a knowledge bomb. The I got to be somewhere trade never works. You know why? Because you're telling the market what you need. Market doesn't give a shit what you need. You're saying, all right, I got a half an hour for this trade to work. Let me get involved. How often does that work? Never. Don't do it. On that note, my friends, if you are coming to Vegas, let me know. We're gonna have a good time. If you guys want to be on this in my stage show, I need 3 or 4 of you guys to do a little comedy act with me. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then I'm gonna do a little VWAP and faux show, bro. Gonna have the charts, laser pointer, the whole thing. I did get a nice jacket too. Got a nice blazer and some fancy brown shoes. They shine. Then again, I'm thinking about wearing sneakers or Converse like I normally do. All right, I'm going to go scrape my lungs because I don't know what's going on right now. I got razor blades in my throat, and this is as much as I can talk right now. So be good. It's nice hanging out with you guys. Come and see this stuff firsthand. It is just absolutely incredible, the trading and the trading that's going on right now. Days pays are very easy to come by. And that's really, when you break it down, what are you trying to do here? You want to make a little bit every day, manage your positions if you're swinging and owning. It is pretty special what's going on in this market. All right. Thank you for stopping in. Stay healthy, because without that, you got nothing. Get some sleep. I'll see you in Vegas. But before that, I'll see you tomorrow. And if I'm well, we probably will schmooze, because we got some decent tech earnings tomorrow, and I want to talk about some options. But if not, I'll just see you tomorrow at 11. Same bat channel, same bat time. Have a great rest of your afternoon. My dog needs me too.